में लोगों के लिए नई टर्म ही है. They're not very familiar with this field. They're not very familiar with what really aerospace engineering is about. और इस तरह के टाइम में, इस तरह के environment में, इस तरह की society में से you decided to opt for such a field as a professional career. तो कोई inspiration रही हो उसके पीछे, कोई खास वजह रही हो तो क्या थी?
Okay, I would like to say that aviation is always a passion. It's not a profession. Either you have it or you don't have it.
True,
So
true.
I think it was always I was always fascinated, and I enjoyed life thrills. So I took up flying as well.
Wonderful.
And then ended up doing this.
Sounds like a good story. आपका काम majorly engine technology का है, aircraft design का है, और flying आपने सीखी भी हुई है, right?
जी बिल्कुल.
And do you do that currently?
Yes, I do. I occasionally fly now. I did my basic flying here in Lahore. From the Lahore Flying Club, I got my private pilot license.
Nice.
And then when I was in England, I learned acrobatic flying.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Flying maneuvers.
That's good. You're also a part of the visiting faculty at School of Aerospace. और ये हम बात करें Cranfield University, United Kingdom की. How amazing is that? Good to know that. आप मुझे जरा बताइएगा jet engine technology के बारे में. What really is jet engine technology?
Okay. So basically, in the world, there are two kinds of engines. One is the piston engine or the reciprocatory engine, which is very common in your automobile industry.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then the second kind of engine is the gas turbine engine, which is also called the jet engine. And this engine has a low weight to power ratio, which means the output that it gives is much more compared to its weight. And therefore it is used in the aerospace industry, because whatever you need to make airborne, it has to be very lightweight.
It has to be light.
So जो इसका main advantage है वो वही है कि इसकी वजह से ये जहाज़ों में इस्तेमाल होता है. And secondly, it's a very simple engine. The beauty of the jet engine lies in its simplicity of design and mechanism.
Nice.
Although
nice.
complex in technology, but simple in mechanical design.
Good. I was going through your profile. Obviously, मैं आपके काम के बारे में भी पढ़ रही थी. I did not want to sound, too illiterate about it. And I came across the term of contrail engines.
Right.
What are those?
Okay, that's a new kind of engine that we are working on. It's basically an invention. I work with my father, so it's an engine that has been invented by him, and this work was given to me as a research question in my PhD, because now the world is moving towards environmentally safe aircraft design and aircraft engine design. And engines are more critical because they give out hazardous emissions, and they release those in the atmosphere. So the contrail-free aero engine is basically contrail is this white trailing line of smoke that you see behind the aircraft, and it's an artificial cloud. It manifests, it's like the emissions manifesting themselves as an artificial cloud in the atmosphere. And this cloud has a global warming potential which is 5 times more than that of carbon dioxide. So it's contributing around 15 to 20% to the global warming in the atmosphere. And contrails are obviously the primary source of global warming in the atmosphere, in the upper troposphere, lower stratosphere.
So when you say that you're working on contrail engines, so how are you working on them? What are you doing?
We are basically during my PhD, we came up with the invention. We conceptualized the idea, and then we got it patented, and then the entire engineering model was developed as part of my PhD research. And then it was simulated for the A380 baseline specifications and the Trent 900 engine. And now we are actually developing the prototype of that engine in a scaled down version.
Interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us Dr. Sara Qureshi. She's a PhD in Aerospace Engineering, CEO, founder of Aero Engine Craft, और इनसे इसी तरह की इंटरेस्टिंग बातचीत को हम जारी रखेंगे पूरे 4 बजे तक. Stay tuned. This is ITU FM 90.4. I'm Seema Bilal with Sham se pehle. With us in the studio right now is a very special guest, Dr. Sara Qureshi. बातें हो रही हैं आज इनसे इनकी फील्ड, एविएशन फील्ड के बारे में. एरोस्पेस इंजीनियर है जनाब. शी इज अ PhD होल्डर इन द वेरी सेम फील्ड, माशाल्लाह. तो उसके हवाले से हम मजीद इनसे जान रहे हैं. वंस अगेन थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग हियर विद अस डॉक्टर सारा.
Pleasure.
अभी तक आपने हमें बताया कि एरोस्पेस और डीप टेक इंडस्ट्री, पाकिस्तान की जेट इंजन टेक्नोलॉजी, उसके बारे में हमने बात की कि व्हाट रियली इज दैट एंड हाउ यू डेवलप्ड इंटरेस्ट इन दिस पर्टिकुलर फील्ड, इन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर. अब मैं कुछ आपसे जानना चाहूंगी एरोस्पेस एंड डीप टेक इंडस्ट्री एंड हाउ इट इज ऑपरेटिंग इन पाकिस्तान. यहाँ पर लोकली इसका क्या स्कोप है, क्या एप्लीकेशन है, उसके बारे में. बिकॉज दिस इज अ फील्ड not a lot of women would take interest in generally. अगर मैं बात करूँ खासतौर पे पाकिस्तान की, तो बहुत से लोग इसके बारे में अभी भी कुछ कम बातें ही जानते हैं. There are misunderstandings, there are misconceptions. So what would you like to say about it?
Okay, हमारे इकोसिस्टम में तो प्राइवेट सेक्टर में तो एरोस्पेस इंडस्ट्री एज सच एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती.
नहीं.
In the sense if if you are talking in the context of manufacturing and value addition. Of course, there are some airlines operating, but their involvement is limited to aircraft maintenance. Then there are some military concerns and defense concerns, but unki bhi it's not a very commercial space.
Right.
So it's a very controlled and a very restricted domain.
Okay.
So we've set up Pakistan's first commercial aerospace and engine manufacture company, and we are operating on all levels, initiating from design work to prototyping to manufacturing, and then inshallah we look forward to the day when we can get into mass production as well.
Excellent, excellent. So what would you like to say about the deep tech industry in Pakistan? What are we referring to with deep tech industry?
Okay, deep tech is basically where you have core manufacturing capabilities and core manufacturing, because Pakistan mein abhi jo tech hai that usually refers to the IT industry or the software industry.
Right, true.
So it's more like a services industry. और उसकी growth की जो एक वजह समझ आती है वो ये है कि उसमें आपको बहुत ज़्यादा infrastructure involve नहीं होता. So that has been and then obviously people have we are blessed with a lot of talent in Pakistan and a lot of expertise. So people, are able to make use of that and develop that industry and get into exports as well. With the manufacturing concerns, you need a lot of infrastructure. You need heavy investments, and though yes, we do have infrastructure in Pakistan, but it's very scattered, very unorganized, and very underutilized, unfortunately.
That I'd agree with. So, a rising concern worldwide is climate change, global warming. These terms are gaining more popularity day by day, and they should. क्योंकि एक मसला है जो बड़े अरसे से exist करता था, but it has come to our notice, or we've become more concerned about it only until recently. और जब हम ज़्यादा aware होते हैं about climate change, its impact, and the changes it's bringing about in our life, and then we know about global warming, तो हम देखते हैं कि उसका हर field, हर कह लें walk of life से ताल्लुक है, because a lot of people even unconsciously are contributing to it greatly. तो अगर हम आपकी फील्ड के बारे में बात करें, the aviation field, what kind of a role is that playing in global warming?
बिल्कुल एविएशन की भी contribution है, और I think up in the atmosphere, high up in the atmosphere, I would say the aviation is the sole contributor to global warming. Because as I mentioned about contrails, so all the emissions from the aircraft are contributing to global warming.
Global warming.
And these emissions are basically three kinds of emissions. One
Okay.
is, as we talked about, contrails.
Mm-hmm.
So that has its own global warming potential, which is more than CO2, and then CO2 as a greenhouse gas, so introduction of CO2 in the atmosphere. Secondly, even when when you're burning fuel, you are releasing both carbon dioxide and water vapor into the atmosphere
Right.
at high altitudes, and they're both greenhouse gases and they're both contributing to global warming. Other than that, we are releasing NOx.
Mm-hmm.
NOx is like because when you're burning fuel, you are ingesting air into the engine, and then combustion takes place. So air consists of oxygen and nitrogen. Both combines with fuel, like our carbon dioxide and water. Be inert is supposed to and be released unchanged, but at very high temperatures at which combustion takes place, a part of it forms nitrogen oxides, which is actually released or formed in parts per million. But nitrogen oxides cause ozone depletion. They affect the ozone. So that's the NOx contribution to global warming, and then CO2 contributes to the greenhouse effect, and water vapor does as well. And when it manifests itself in the form of contrails, which it mostly does at that altitude, then the problem is multiplied.
Now, a lot of industries are taking necessary steps and measures to counter such problems, or to address the issues that are actually causing global warming or that are affecting the environment. तो इसी तरह के कोई इक़दामात एविएशन इंडस्ट्री में लिए जा रहे हैं? Any environmental concepts that have been introduced to kind of either completely get rid of this issue or at least address it to quite an extent?
जी बिल्कुल, एविएशन इंडस्ट्री में भी कुछ टेक्नोलॉजीज़ हैं जिस पे लोग काम कर रहे हैं. The most commonly known and the in thing is electric planes.
Okay.
So people are trying to replace gas turbine engines or jet engines with batteries to ring around.
Just like we have
planes.
EVs that are now quite a common idea.
Yes, but in that concept we have there is a concept called distributed propulsion.
Okay.
Because अभी बैटरी टेक्नोलॉजी जो है वो इस लेवल पे डेवलप नहीं हुई कि वो पूरे का पूरे जहाज को पावर कर सके.
बिल्कुल. और फिर रिलायबिलिटी इश्यूज भी होंगे ऑब्वियसली.
Not really reliability, but it's the endurance, I would say. कि वो aviation industry में जो आपकी flight operations हैं, they can be divided into two categories. One is the short haul flights, and then you have the long haul flights, like the 8-hour transatlantic flight. So for the current state of technology for electric planes is such that they can cater to some extent to short haul flights, but that's only half of the aviation traffic. So if you look at the amount of fuel that is burned that contributes to emissions and global warming, 50% of that is contributed by short haul flights. So that is in a way to some extent replaceable by the electric technologies or electric planes.
Right.
But even that is limited. अभी जो हम कर रहे हैं ना, वो बेसिकली जो कॉन्सेप्ट जिस पे काम हो रहा है इज लाइक अ हाइब्रिड प्लेन. जैसे आपकी हाइब्रिड कार्स होती हैं, they are partly working on batteries and partly on piston engines. So similarly, in hybrid vehicles or hybrid aircraft, they have a concept which is dominant, is known as distributed propulsion. In that case, they use one major jet engine, one big jet engine, to drive a series of small electric fans.
Sahi.
And so that's the way forward. And also, this is complemented by electric, the batteries as well. but again this is restricted to short haul flights. The long haul flights हैं उनका as such to this day we don't have a solution. We are just
but I'm sure a lot of entities are kind of working on it, or even
they're
this is a step
on
forward.
It, but it's restricted to research level. It's not something that could be readily commercialized.
Obviously.
So for long haul flights, we have to mitigate emissions within the jet engine basically. और इसके अलावा ये है कि अब एक और कॉन्सेप्ट लेवल पे जो काम हो रहा है दैट्स ऑन हाइड्रोजन प्लेन्स व्हिच इज आल्सो कॉल्ड क्रायोप्लेन्स. उसमें उन्होंने सजेस्ट ये किया है कि they would use liquid hydrogen or compressed hydrogen as a fuel, and then you tend to eliminate carbon dioxide because when hydrogen burns you only get water. It combines with oxygen to give you water. So the only byproduct is water vapor, which also is a greenhouse gas and which would multiply the problem we have with contrails right now. And then another that has been there for a very long time, लेकिन उसमें much commercial success as yet, is superconductivity. Superconductivity is a concept where you achieve perfect conductance and there are no electrical losses. So your electrical technology is basically becomes very efficient and optimized. And if that makes a breakthrough, then we can look into all electric planes. But at present, they are trying to, because superconductivity is a phenomena of very low temperatures. It has been experimentally successful at extremely low temperatures, but they are trying to combine this with the hydrogen cryoplane technology, because with liquid hydrogen you tend to compress it at very low temperatures as well. So they're using that temperature gradient to optimize superconductivity and using these concepts together, that part of the plane would use hydrogen as a fuel, and then because you have optimized electrical energy as well, or
interesting to know.
Superconductor batteries or whatever. So then part of it could go electrical. So these are all like 2 or 3 different technologies
that are being worked on
all over the world. People are
working preliminary stages में ही अभी बहुत advanced stages में नहीं है.
Mostly yes. Electric planes, as I mentioned, or battery powered planes are, people are there have been airborne experiments with on short haul.
Short haul flights.
Yes. Right. On short haul flights, जो आपकी कम endurance जिसमें आपको चाहिए होती है, और
interesting.
So that way, so we let's see how. We don't know, we can't predict which
obviously which best, and we start using it commercially.
The quickest.
Great. We're in conversation with Dr. Sara Qureshi, who is also the CEO, founder of Aero engine craft. इनका क्या idea रहा, क्या ideology थी, क्या thoughts थी behind this very entrepreneurial venture, इसके बारे में भी बात करेंगे. मगर पहले Dr. Sara Qureshi से कुछ जानेंगे हम deep tech technology in Pakistan and what really are the solutions to the problems you just mentioned in the last link. हमने कुछ issues discuss किए, कुछ global warming के बारे में भी बात रही. तो अब मैं चाहूँगी कि जो deep tech industry है पाकिस्तान की, उसके हवाले से कुछ solutions के बारे में भी हम बात करें.
Okay, so मैं पहले तो ये कहना चाहूँगी कि if we look at the deep tech industry as well as the aerospace industry, तो इसमें it's very important for the country because इसमें बहुत value addition है. जैसे जो aircraft engine है, so we say that it is worth its weight in silver. It's like a piece of jewelry because of all the technology that goes into it.
True.
So this kind of technology is like a very it costs us very heavily. It's a heavy chunk on our imports as well. और तो इसको इन हाउस डेवलप करने की बहुत ज़रूरत है एंड आई डू फील दैट वी डू हैव द स्किल सेट, वी हैव द एक्सपर्टीज, we have a lot of brilliant people around, but the infrastructure, or rather I would say the ecosystem is missing, or it is not organized, because infrastructure अभी हमारे मुल्क में किसी हद तक है, but it's very scattered, and it's like divided. I mean, we have very good very expensive infrastructure in a lot of government organizations, but there's no way that you can
there's no coordination
use
between them.
Yes,
We have the elements, they're here in Pakistan, but we're
Yes.
not putting them to use.
That's true,
Right.
because उनको इस्तेमाल करने का, उनको to optimize on them, or उनकी deriving value from them, there's no system, because I think
How unfortunate is
it is
that?
indeed. And even there's a lot of scattered expertise within the private sector as well. So I would suggest that we need to bring all this together on one platform first of all. Basically अगर हम बड़े setups की बात करें, जो which are mostly government owned, there are a lot of universities in Pakistan which have very sophisticated labs and workshops in engineering as well as pure sciences.
True.
And instrumentation and all that, which is being underutilized. Isi tarah we have big organizations like the Pakistan Aeronautical Complex, the heavy industries, the heavy mechanical complex. They have big infrastructure as well, a lot of resources, but again they are used to some extent for maintenance purposes, for imported technology, so just maintaining imported technology, but not for developing technology, and they are underutilized as well.
True.
So all that has to come under one platform, and I think somebody in the private sector can take this initiative.
And at least bring all these relevant people to the same table.
Just bringing people on the table doesn't do, because people do come on the table, and when we have these discussions for development, it's always focused on developing more labs. लेकिन labs बनाने से क्या होगा अगर लोग उसमें काम ही नहीं कर रहे और काम करने वाला दिमाग ही नहीं है? जिस जगह पे आपकी लैब है, एक रिसोर्स है, आपका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, वहाँ पे आपका ह्यूमन रिसोर्स नहीं है उसको इस्तेमाल करने के लिए।
बिल्कुल।
तो सबसे पहले तो
एक स्ट्रक्चर तो खुद कुछ नहीं करेगा।
हम एक ऐसा इनिशिएटिव लेने की ज़रूरत है जिसमें आप जितना आपका ये बड़े इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स हैं, ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, इनको अप्रोच किया जाए और उनसे पूछा जाए कि व्हाट कैन यू ऑफर फ्रीली. फ्रीली डजंट मीन फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट, बट what doors can you open for the private sector to come and use your facilities. That's one thing. And then also maybe like जैसे IT में अब आजकल एक बहुत there's a trend that people make apps for everything. There's an app for everything that you want to do in life. So basically जो इस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग साइट पे भी जितनी इंडस्ट्री एक स्कैटर्ड इंडस्ट्री है जो हमारी गुजरांवाला, सियालकोट में, लाहौर में, पिंडी में, वी डू हैव इंडस्ट्री एंड दे हैव गुड मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्किल्स एज वेल. तो उनको भी एक इकट्ठा करने की ज़रूरत है, सो दैट एक उनकी एक वी नीड अ डेटाबेस जिसमें लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई हैव I'm working on developing my engine, and I need a certain expertise which I don't have in house. So there's a limit to what we can set up in house because that's costly on time.
बिल्कुल.
तो उसको हम फिर उस प्लेटफॉर्म के ज़रिए इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. हम उन लोगों की अगर हमें सिर्फ एक डेटाबेस अवेलेबल हो जिसके थ्रू एक you can do this through a smooth operation. And I think if we can get these big organizations into one system, I think Pakistan can set up small manufacturing units for automobile engines, for jet engines.
Absolutely, why not?
it's
Good,
not
good, good.
impossible.
स्कोप हमारा बड़ा फेवरेट वर्ड है पाकिस्तानी अवाम का. वट एवर वी टॉकिंग अबाउट और यू नो विच एवर न्यू फील्ड कम्स अप, पहला सवाल ये आता है इसका स्कोप क्या है. एंड एट सम पॉइंट इन टाइम ऑल ऑफ अस हैव लर्न्ड दैट वर्ड एंड ऑल्सो आस्क्ड इट टू सेवरल पीपल. मैं आपसे जानना चाहूंगी जिस इंडस्ट्री के बारे में हम आज बात कर रहे हैं, द एविएशन इंडस्ट्री, एरोस्पेस, इसकी अहमियत अभी पाकिस्तान का जो करंट एक फ्रेमवर्क है, इकोनॉमी है, जो करंट सिचुएशन है, how do you see that this is important and what is the scope of this particular industry in Pakistan's current frame?
Okay, it's I think there's a lot of scope. सबसे पहले तो ये है कि worldwide this is a one of the fastest growing industries, and because flying जो है वो future में बढ़ रही है, कम नहीं हो रही. So engine production is increasing, aircraft in service are increasing, and secondly, so obviously that has, that's also trickling down to our side of the region as well. And then with the introduction of drones and unmanned aircraft, so it has like opened another wide world.
बिल्कुल.
और वो एक, and I would say that unmanned flying is even would be growing faster than manned flying, because you don't have those strict airworthiness regulations or safety regulations. And then it's very popular with the services industry, drones and all. So they're replacing a lot of traditional servicing models.
Right.
So उनके लिए भी हमें development of drones, and then the engine is a very very critical part
No
of
doubt
the
about
aircraft. It is the driving force, the power force behind it. So there's a lot of scope. And secondly, as I said, imports it costs us a lot, and it's like that वो जो amount है वो बढ़ती जा रही है. It's getting more expensive by the day, and sometimes with a lot of regulations there, even if you have all the money, there are certain engines that you cannot import because of they have their own sanctions or whatever. So we are like
कि यहाँ पर अभी हम देखते हैं कि हमारे there's still a gap.
There's a gap. और अभी जो हम आसानी से import कर रहे हैं, even for drones we're just importing very small size toy engines, and that too so just if we get ourselves together and organize our infrastructure, we can be mass producing these things.
Absolutely.
Inshallah.
तो अभी डॉक्टर सारा कुरैशी से बातचीत जो हमने अभी तक की बड़ी ही इंटरेस्टिंग गई, और अभी जानेंगे कुछ इनके एंटरप्रेन्योरल एडवेंचर के बारे में भी. We'd also be talking about her experience as a visiting fellow at the School of Aerospace. This is Cranfield University talking about. But all this is coming after this beautiful song from the movie Parwaaz Hai Junoon. Interesting, and I've loved your feedback on it as well. Your messages, your questions are always welcome on 0309201507. So let's talk a little about Qureshi, who's here with us today. Abhi फील्ड के बारे में, डीप टेक इंडस्ट्री के बारे में, हाउ इज इट वर्किंग इन पाकिस्तान, क्या सॉल्यूशंस हैं, क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, all that. And now I would like to move to a different aspect, and that is you working as a visiting fellow at the School of Aerospace. So how is the experience overall?
Okay, basically ये position मुझे दी गई थी because as I mentioned that the engine that we are developing now, the environmentally safe engine, this was the initial research was carried out during my PhD. So when you're carrying out research, there's there's no end to it. There's always like
for a true researcher.
Yes, but obviously there is a cutoff. There's a time when you have to conclude, and there's a time limit to your thesis as well, and the amount of research that you need to carry out to qualify for a PhD. So you leave this window open for future work. There are future directions where some of the concepts or some of the ideas that you've addressed need more maturity, need deeper studies. So you may leave that for future work, or you need to branch it out into different dimensions. And
right,
if especially if the research is very multidisciplinary. So certain aspects of the research have to be looked into in greater detail. So for that, with that future work, usually you involve current students, and so as a visiting fellow, my job is basically a lot of other master level students on the jet engine course. They pick up a specific area which is part of my thesis, which I've recommended in future directions or future work that needs to be studied further, or you need more data on it, and they pick that part up and then they do further research on that. So my job is basically to help them, to supervise and to evaluate their research and to evaluate their thesis,
because the university is also interested in taking this work forward, but in their own academic way. Right. So even during my PhD, I supervised 5 students. They were, working with me on different chapters of the thesis and different topics, subjects within the thesis. And one student contributed very actively to my thesis. He was a Spanish student, and I got to learn a bit of Spanish from him as well. And others have also contributed to different dimensions. Good. It sounds very interesting. अब मैं कुछ बात करना चाहूँगी. We are also a little short on time at the moment. About your entrepreneurial venture, that is Aero Engine Craft. You're the founder, you're the CEO. हमें इसके बारे में ज़रा बताइएगा. What was the idea behind its conception, and in which capacity is it working currently? Okay, so this is being set up as a private limited company. We are 2 founders, myself and my father. My father basically, this was set up to develop this technology because although it initiated with research, but we wanted to develop it into a working product and also to commercialize it. So since my father is the core inventor, so at present he's the chief technology officer at the company, and I'm the chief executive officer, and so we've founded this together, and my daughter Ayat has named it, so I call it a 3-generation startup. And as I mentioned earlier, this is Pakistan's first commercial jet engine company, and we are building jet engines. Excellent. And I must mention sustainable jet engines, I would say, environment friendly, sustainable jet engines. And that is so important. I also must mention that Ayat is just 7 years old and she's about to turn 8, right? Yes. And she named the company. She named the company when she was around 6. Yeah, we founded the company in 2018. Okay, yes. Wonderful. Brilliant child. Now, for the last question, it's a very special one. It's very close to my heart. जो भी हमारे यहाँ young females आती हैं, Thursday वैसे भी ITU-FM पे खास दिन होता है with regards to a special segment Wonder Women of Pakistan. उसमें हम बात करते हैं ऐसी ख़वातीन की who've made Pakistan proud at any platform at all. आपसे भी बात की जाए तो उसी सेगमेंट के तहत उसी खास दिन थर्सडे के दिन की जाए. तो अब मैं चाहूँगी कोई मैसेज जो आप देना चाहें to all those young aspiring female pilots who might want to fly a plane someday, who might want to join your field as a researcher, as a worker, or be participated in some capacity. What would be your message to them? I would say welcome to the exciting world of aviation. That's my message. Yeah. And also that it's great to be part of aviation. And other than that, I would say कि हर दफ़ा ये कहा जाता है कि औरतें वो सारे काम कर सकती हैं जो आदमी भी कर सकते हैं, जो आदमी करते हैं, पर मेरा ख्याल है कि औरतें वो काम कर सकती हैं जो आदमी नहीं कर सकते. So in whatever capacity, in whatever field they choose. So if you choose aviation, you would be doing I'm sure you would be contributing in a very extraordinary way. Definitely, inshallah. Thank you so much. With this, we come to the conclusion of our conversation with Dr. Sara Qureshi. Once again, thank you very much for being here at ITUFM 90.4. It's truly been a pleasure having you here. The show, I would say, on the whole, was very enlightening, very informative, और मेरी अपनी नॉलेज क्योंकि इस हवाले से बड़ी कम थी, तो मैंने तो आज बहुत इंजॉय किया ज़ाती तौर पर भी इस इंटरव्यू को.
मैंने भी इंजॉय किया और आपने भी बहुत अच्छे अच्छे गाने सुनाए. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much. गाने भी काफी हद तक इनकी और आयत की ही चॉइस थे, so I hope you guys, all of you who've tuned into ITUFM 90.4 today, enjoyed that as well. आप लोगों से मुलाकात होगी इंशाल्लाह कल दोपहर 2 से 4 बजे, जिस तरह हर फ्राइडे को रहा करती है, with all the updates, all the highlights of the ongoing week. तो वो भी जरूर करेंगे आपके साथ शेयर. For now, this is all we had. Take good care of yourself. Have a fabulous Thursday ahead. I'll catch you guys tomorrow afternoon. Until then, take good care of yourself.